Hey guys, welcome to another 3D clinic with Josh Boondock Young and my lovely wife In, live from San Antonio. Today we're going to talk about rolling Harrier. We're going to go through the basics of rolling Harrier, break it up into a couple of different sessions. So first of all, we're going to talk about getting that stir, that rhythm in your stir. Also, the next thing we'll talk about just being able to keep it in the air, keep it from crashing. Once we can manage that, then we'll talk about getting the angle of attack, maintaining your roll rate, nice consistent roll rate. And then we'll talk about directional control. Finally, we'll talk about more advanced topics also, such as bringing it down on the deck or doing rolling Harrier loops or various different more advanced rolling techniques, at least the ones that I can manage to do. Alright, so we've got my 3D Hobby Shop 119-inch Extra 330 SE. This is the ultralight edition here with the DLE 111. It comes in at 32 pounds. Not bad for 40%. So let's go ahead and take it for a spin.
The stir is simply stick movements you need to create a smooth rolling maneuver. So for left rollers it involves right rudder, down elevator, left rudder, and up elevator. And then keep repeating. If you're stirring the stick, you keep doing this as long as your plane is still in the rolling attitude. Mastering the stir is paramount to learning rolling Harriers, as this should be second nature to you. You should not have to think of what stick input to give because your attention will be focused elsewhere, like trying to keep your plane from hitting the ground. Fortunately, getting a feel for the stir is not too difficult with some practice. To practice the stir, I recommend doing the 4-point roll. For left rollers, fly from right to left and begin your roll inputting the right rudder, down elevator, left rudder, and up elevator. Once you have the feel of this, try doing a slow roll and making your input meld together. Try to correct for directional changes as well as you get better. There are no shortcut to this. You need to learn this feel and it may take a while. Once you've got some semblance of this feel, then try to do a continuous slow roll. Start with 2 or 3 or 4 rolls at a time, and as you progress, keep increasing the number of rolls that you can do. The culmination of this skill is eventually your ability to do a rolling circle, in which you make a circle as you keep your plane in the rolling attitude. Again, for left rollers, start your flight from right to left, making a right circle, i.e. clockwise. For this maneuver, I recommend low rates on all surfaces. Once you get a feel for the stir, let's move on to the next part, keeping your plane in the air. One common misconception about rolling Harrier is that it's a rhythm thing. While it's true that good rollers have a definite rhythm to their rolls, one would be foolish to think that it's the rhythm that keeps their planes in the air. Instead, what they have learned is to control their roll in such a way that makes it rhythmical. The only thing that should be rhythmical in your rollers is your stir. So what do I mean by this? What I'm saying is that in a rolling Harrier, you are always looking at what your plane is doing and making adjustment with each roll. For sure, I'm not talented enough to make correction in every aspect of the roll, so I picked a point of reference. Canopy up. I tie my up elevator to the canopy up position and let my stir takes care of the rest of the timing. Again, this is why mastering the flow of the stir is important. So let's talk about timing your up elevator. You essentially want to time your up elevator when you see the canopy facing up. When in doubt, time it early and not late. Also, when you're first starting, just do several rolls at a time and then stop. Regain your orientation and continue on with another set of rolls. Yet another setup tip is to roll with a medium to low rate aileron and limit yourself to about 20-30 degrees angle of attack by limiting your elevator travel. Let's talk about some common mistakes now. Nosediving. Nosediving is the result of a mistiming. Most often it's the result of being late on your timing. For left rollers, you'll see your plane turning from right, going straight, and eventually turning left, followed by a nosedive. Common mistake number 2, inconsistent angle of attack. Inconsistent angle of attack is usually the result of inconsistencies in either the elevator input or throttle input. In general, when learning, you're better served with a lower angle of attack since it helps to remove throttle management out of the question. In the same way, Harriers requires less throttle management than hovering does. The inconsistent elevator input will improve with time as you get used to the stir. But if you find that this is a constant problem, then further limit the travel of your elevator or increase your expo. In general, your stick travel for your elevator is half of what the rudder is. Common mistake number 3, inconsistent roll rate. Inconsistent roll rate wreaks havoc on your timing. Assuming that you peg your aileron to the end of its travel, it's usually the result of an inconsistent angle of attack. That itself is the result of two common factors that we've discussed earlier: nosediving and inconsistent elevator input. When you're late on your timing the nosedives, this in turn speed up the roll rate, which further exacerbate your problem. Common mistake number 4, the confidence factor. Rolling Harrier is the only maneuver where the airplane is actively trying to crash on you. Consequently, some might have difficulty learning this with their prized 40%ers. Personally, I would highly recommend getting a durable foamy trainer like the 3D Hobby Shop 33-inch EPP Extra 330 SE. Having something like that flies well and takes a licking inspires confidence and allows you to try to roll yourself out of a tight situation instead of bailing out. This in turn pays great dividends when you are in a pinch. And inspire confidence it will. That's all for now, fellas. Until then, fly low.